Hi, I would like to tell you a little bit about the origin of Sandplay Therapy. And when we talk about the origin and development of Sandplay, we need to talk about Margaret Lowenfeld, who was a British doctor, one of the very few female doctors in 1920s. She developed an interest in working with children, and in late 1920s she opened a clinic for treatment of nervous and difficult children in London, where she saw her young clients. And she had many toys for children to play with, and she accepted donations and gifts of toys and objects um, for her patients, as she did much of her work for free. And she was given a chest where she kept all the toys, and she called it the world chest. There was a whole world contained in that chest, all the different figures and toys and symbols and objects. And she was also given 2 zinc baths, um, zinc tubs, to keep in her therapy room. And she filled one of the zinc tubs with water and the other one with sand. And the children who came to see her for treatment would use some of the toys from the world chest, either in the sand tub or in the water. And what she noticed over time, that those children who played in the sand, who made pictures, acted out stories, created adventures in the sand, those children seemed to be recovering and healing better and quicker than those children who didn't use the sand. So over time she developed this therapy, which she called the world technique, where the children would create these pictures in the sand in a special box. And she tried to share her findings with other doctors, therapists, psychologists, but nobody was particularly interested at first. It took her a few years to get people interested. And one of the pivotal moments was when she did a presentation at the conference about her world technique. And the audience apparently was quite lukewarm about it. But towards the end of her presentation, where she told about the children playing in the sand, creating all the different worlds in the special sand tray, and at the end of her presentation, Carl Jung, who was in the audience, apparently he stood up and gave a lecture on symbols, on archetypes, on collective unconscious, and basically with his lecture he supported Margaret Lowenfeld's presentation and gave the theory of why what she was describing was effective, why it was working. And obviously Jung, by that time, he had quite a solid reputation. So following that, more people became interested and were listening to what Margaret Lowenfeld had to share. And another therapist, Dora Karff, became very, very interested in the technique, and she was one of Jung's students. And following discussion with Jung, she decided to study with Margaret Lowenfeld to explore and understand this wonderful new technique. And I think it was Dora Karff who actually developed what we know now as Sandplay Therapy. But it was Margaret Lowenfeld who was the creator, an accidental creator of the world technique, which was the predecessor of Sandplay, and in fact not it wasn't even Margaret Lowenfeld, it was her clients, it was the children who played in that zinc tub in the sand who created this therapy. And I think that's one of the beauties of sand play. It is such a natural and gentle and playful and wonderfully healing way of processing our emotions, our worries, our troubles, our traumas. It was developed by a child. And as we know, children really do take the opportunity to heal. And they know how to heal given the environment and the space and support to do so. So nowadays, Sandplay Therapy is, of course, used not only with children but with adults, and I'm a big advocate for the adults using the Sandplay for their own self-healing. But we have a lot to learn from those children, those original children who taught Margaret Lowenfeld about the healing properties of the sand. So that's just a few words about the origin of Sandplay. I will say some more at some point later. So thank you so much for listening. Take care and goodbye.